Good evening and welcome to News at 7 on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city today, Monday, 19th February 2024. In the headlines, President Bola Tinubu arrives Nigeria after Africa Union Summit. Panel of inquiry orders temporary unsealing of PDP Secretariat. And on the foreign scene, Israel to restrict access to Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque during Ramadan. My name is Joy Nochir with the news details coming your way shortly. Please do stay with us.
Every day, every story. If it matters to you, depend on our news team to bring you the latest.
And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has arrived to Abuja from the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. While in Ethiopia, President Tinubu actively participated in the 44th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council, held bilateral meetings and attended other events and on the sidelines of the African Union Summit. Tinubu joined other African leaders in high-level meetings on institutional reforms of the African Union, peace and security, specific thematic issues such as climate change, as well as modalities of participation in priority of the continental body in the G20. The theme of this year's summit is Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education system for increased access and inclusive long life, quality and relevant learning in Africa. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Nyesom Wike has issued an ultimatum to persons who illegally erected structures at the Abuja Technology Village to relocate or risk facing the wrath of the law. The minister made this known while inspecting the site at Paikasa, Abuja, alongside the Minister of Science and Technology Uche Naji. According to the FCT minister, the federal government made the settlement to the illegal occupants in 2015 and told them to relocate. On his part, the Minister of Science and Technology explained that the Abuja Technology Village is very viable in housing emerging technologies the federal government is looking to adopt, hence the necessity to mark territory to actively investors and further achieve its goals. Residents in Oyo State have staged a protest over high cost of living, food inflation and current economic hardship in the country. The protesters came out in their numbers in the Mokala area of Ibadan, the state capital, chanting songs to drive home their points, carrying placards with inscriptions such as "End food hike and inflation, the poor is starving. Tinubu, don't forget your promises," among others. Armed policemen were seen at the protest scene even as demonstrators held a peaceful rally against the economic hardship in the land occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange windows. The protest in Oyo followed by others in Kano, Minna among others, over economic hardship occasioned by petrol subsidy, removal, food inflation and high cost of living. Lawmaker in the 7th National Assembly, Senator Ita Enang, has urged President Bola Tinubu to give the subject of state police the urgency it deserves by directing the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, to prepare an executive bill on state police and forward it to the National Assembly for it to be treated promptly as a standalone executive bill. Enang, who made this known on the national television, stated that Nigerians should not allow it to be the part of those matters that will be considered by the Senate or a joint session of the National Assembly. He said the executive bill should spell out the limitations of the functions of the state police to federal police, and the president should consider the situation as a state of national emergency because of what is happening and the way it is affecting the economy, especially food. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says President Bola Tinubu's economic policies, particularly the unification of the exchange rate, were harshly implemented without adequate planning and consultation with stakeholders. In a press release personally signed by him, Atiku said he knew that the economy of the country was heading to a ditch at the twin light of former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. He criticized President Bola Tinubu for not effectively presenting his administration's measures to address the ongoing economic crisis affecting the nation. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has dismissed calls by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Governors Forum for the resignation of President Bola Tinubu over the current economic hardship in the country. In a press release signed by his special assistant on media, Rabi Ibrahim, he insisted that Tinubu will not resign. The minister noted that the administration of President Bola Tinubu had since inception generously extended financial support to all state governments regardless of partisan affiliation. Recall that the PDP Governors Forum had urged President Bola Tinubu to resign if he cannot provide sustainable solutions to the country's problem. A member of the House of Representatives, Dennis Idahosa, has emerged as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress (APC) for the Edo State governorship election. Governor Hope Uzodinma, who is also the chairman of the Edo Gubernatorial Primary Election Committee, announced Idahosa as the winner of the election that took place in Benin City, the state capital. According to him, Idahosa pulled over 40,000 votes to defeat other contestants and will now fly the party's flag in the September 2024 governorship polls.
This order, Prince Clem Abba, who scored 100 votes, Honorable Dekari Anemero, 230 votes, Engineer Gideon Ikino, 700 votes, Honorable Dennis Idahosa, 40,453 votes. NS Afolabi Omakihe, 2 votes. And His Excellency Lucky Imasoe, who withdrew, 2 votes. This is here, therefore, to certify that Honorable Dennis Idahosa, having scored the highest number of votes cast, is hereby declared the winner of the primaries and is returned as the candidate of All Progressive Congress for the coming election.
Earlier, due to some mix-up, which was as a result of a drama played out by some suspected thugs during the coalition exercise, Governor Uzodinma explained that the candidate was announced in the right venue.
We conducted the primaries, direct primaries, in the 18 local governments and 192 electoral wards. And the primaries have been duly collected and the results returned to our secretary. Earlier in the day, there was some kind of misinformation as to the venue of the secretariat of this primaries. This is the secretariat where results were collected and is being announced.
After the declaration, an excited Idahosa dedicated his victory to God and party supporters. Leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ) has given the leadership of the All Progressives Congress (APC) 7 days to tender unreserved apology to the union for assaulting its members or be prepared for war with the media. Edo State Council Festus Aleke disclosed this in Benin City while reading the decision of the national leadership of the union over the attack on journalists who were covering the primary election of the party on Saturday. According to him, the Nigeria Union of Journalists is expecting the APC to replace all the damaged equipment of journalists that were covering the event on the 17th day of February 2024, pay medical bills of journalists injured during the attack, apologize to the NUJ at both state and national levels over the attack where journalists were manhandled. Recall that several journalists were attacked and beaten to pulp and the equipment destroyed by members of a faction of the party at the Lodgeville Hotel, venue of the coalition of the gubernatorial primaries. Chairman of Abia State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Recovery of Government Properties and Funds, Justice Florence Duroha Igwe, retired, has ordered that the property located at 43 Fimbash Road, Umuahia, which was sealed off by the order of the panel, be unsealed from 19th to 20th February 2024. The chairman said thus during the panel's sitting in Umuahia, stating that the unsealing of the building was to enable the second respondent, AP PDP Abu State to have access to the facility and produce before the panel the lease agreement between the party and Mr. Michael Oke Nzako. Justice Duroha Igwe retired before adjourning the matter to 21st February 2024 for indefinite hearing on the matter, advised Abia PDP to use the 2-day period to get all the necessary documents required by the panel, adding that no further excuse will be entertained. A professor of politics and member of the Labour Party, Patrick Otomi, has affirmed the commitment to ensure suspended National Treasurer Oluchi Opara receives a fair hearing. Speaking on a flagship program Standpoint on Rapid 96.5 FM, Otomi emphasized the importance of a just process in addressing Opara's suspension. Otomi underscored the obligation of the party elders to advocate for fairness and impartiality throughout the proceedings. He emphasized that it falls upon them to navigate the intricacies of the solution and uphold the principle of justice.
Our role as elders is to ensure that justice is done, and we're going to be pressing all the critical buttons to ensure that the process is just. We cannot preach one thing and a platform we're associated with leave another thing. So we are at the moment working on how to make that happen. But more importantly, we are working on how to make a real path ball out of the, if you will, antithesis that this represents. We come to a synthesis in which an evolution of a truly great national political party that serves the Nigerian people crystallizes. That is what is even more important. We just see all of this as comes in the teacup on the path to creating a real political party.
Kelix Foundation has successfully conducted a medical outreach for lecturers and students of Abu State University. The primary focus was to raise awareness about their health, particularly regarding their blood group. The head of foundation, Anselm Emerem, expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the event, emphasizing the importance of the foundation's continued impact on humanity.
Yes, because thank God all the guest speakers and medical personnel who invited made it possible for this program to be a success. You know, it's one thing to invite people, it's one thing to come and do what you invited them. So we are very happy the program turned out very nice. And we hope to do more. It's our duty to impart, and we'll keep imparting because health is very important. Without health, you can't do any other thing in the world. So he's a healthy man that can go to work, he's a healthy student that can go to school and all that. So we thank God. Yeah, like I was saying, our service is to humanity. So we keep bringing up ways we can impart to humanity. We are centered on healthcare, humanitarian services. So we will still bring our ideas through the world. So graciously, as time goes on, we are planning for the Children's Day coming up on 27th of May. So before then, we still do something. So we are working hand in hand.
In addition, attendees shared positive feedback about the program, describing the event as informative and commendable.
I really did enjoy the program. We got we got education on different things that we don't really know, like on blood, eyes, how to take care of the eyes and stuff like that. It's really a good one. They did really good for inviting people to come give us talks on different things like health, blood, on infections, different things, drugs, abuse and stuff like that. They really did well. Yes, they did.
On the foreign scene, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says they will impose some restriction on access to Al-Aqsa Mosque in the old city of occupied East Jerusalem during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, according to security needs. The Al-Aqsa compound, the third holiest site in the world for Muslims, sits atop a hill in the old city. The site is also revealed by Jews who referred it to as a Temple Mount. Restrictions on access to the site have long caused friction, particularly around religious holidays such as Ramadan, which will begin about March 10th this year. The announcement comes as Israel warns that it will continue its assault on Gaza during Ramadan, including the densely populated Rafah area in the south. In business, a power distribution company Discus has restored to rationing data reveal that Nigeria is currently experiencing almost 16,000 megawatts power deficit despite having so far issued generation license to 40 generation companies, GENCOs. Data sourced from the Independent System Operation reveal that the country requires nothing less than 19,798 megawatts to reach sufficiency. The development comes on the heels of current power rationing by the GENCOs across the country. It's over to the world of sport, where the Confederation of Africa Football (CAF) has announced a date for the preliminary round draw for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The draw, according to CAF, will hold at its headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, on Tuesday, February 20. The game will be played on a home and away basis between 18th to 26th March 2024. The 24 teams will take part in the AFCON 2025 final to be hosted by Morocco. Before we go, a recap of the major stories. President Bola Tinubu arrives Nigeria after Africa Union Summit. Panel of inquiry order temporary unsealing of a PDP secretariat. Israel to restrict access to Jerusalem Al-Aqsa Mosque during Ramadan. And that's other news at 7 Rapid 96.5 FM for news coverage and eyewitness report. Kindly send a message to our hotline on WhatsApp 0704 922 0965 or send an email to news@rbntv.com. And this bulletin was packaged by Kingsley Onwuka. My name is Joy Notchery. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful evening ahead. Good evening.